Hello guys, what's going on? It's a new tutorial. In the previous tutorial, we'll tell you about data and the array statement to make some data on your programs. But this data, when you close the program, is not saved. If you want something like saved in a file, then you can load it again, like you will make some games and then save or load a game. You may need input and output files, and they are used with the open statement. So we have actually three types of sequential files. The first one is input, the second one is output, the third one is append. That's what we're going to be learning later. So let's start with the input files or the output. Here's the output files. You tap up open, then the file name you want to open its up, including the path. So like let's say my file, then dot the type txt documents, and then for the type, this type is output, so you type up output, then as, then the handle. What's the handle? That like it's always start with a hash, and then something like hash O for outputs. And what it does that if you make a command saying like print then number O, what it does is that it'll make the command for this file. It's not gonna make it for the main window. So if you make any text right over here, you're not gonna see it on the main window. So type here like hello world. You can also add any other text like junk or something. Well, and then we run it. Notice that there's an error. Why is this error? Because before we end the program, we must close these files. So tap up close, then number O, and then this should work. Run. And as you can see, the text is not written right over here because it has written it's for number O. Let's go for number O and let's see what it does. Let's see right over here. If you haven't given it a path, it will be saved in the same folder the file saved. If the file is not saved, it's going to be saved in the just basic folder. I don't know, where is it? Let's search for my file. As you can see, when you double click it, say hello world, then the text is written blah blah blah. So those are output files. You store data with them using the print statement. The input files are for reading, not for writing. So if you would type up inputs, what to load the data, instead of the print command, we use the inputs command. And instead of the print, use the inputs. And then we don't place a value, we place the variable. A variable for what the program is gonna read from the file is gonna be stored in. Like this should be an existing file, not a new file. And then let's say X, and then string text, and then Y string. And then we'll print them back for the main window. So the variables X string and Y string has been filled with the values of number O. And then they are printed all again. Inputs will read a line only, but if there is a comma between the values, it's gonna read them as one input. So if you want to read a whole line, even if there is a comma between them, type up line, then inputs. So in this situation, it's all the same because there is no any commas. So these are input files. You can store them also in arrays, like you can dimension array before and then store them in array value 1. And you can also make a whole loop if you want to read a whole file. There's something called file dialog. this is gonna give you that file dialog that contains the word open or save. So if you type a file dialog, then it's gonna be in two quotes the title for the dialog. So if I would say open text file, that's just the title. But the title, what makes a difference is that if it's not containing the word save, then it's gonna be in the open style. If it contains the word save, then it's gonna be in the save style. But if there is no save button, want to open, then you shouldn't place open, but just a title. It's gonna be open style. So here we want here we want to make the value for the type that's gonna be open. You shift 8, that's usually used for some files if you know, and dot, then the type. For text files it's .txt, right? If you want more than one file type, you place this and then another type. That's anything, but for this we use .txt. Then the variable that contains the path in the file for what's gonna open, like file name string, after clicking the open button, of course. Now if I would say open and then file name string 4 inputs as number 1 to read the data format. There's a function called input string, and there's a function called LOF. The input string, you enter the handle name and then a comma, then how many bytes you want to start reading from this file. The LOF function is the length of the file. LOF, length of file. You enter just handle name, and then it's give you the amount of bytes in the whole file. So if you would say input, take from number 1, and then we'll take the bytes and the amount of the loaf for number 1, it's gonna be the whole file, if you know what I mean. So if you would say print for the main one, the input for number 1, taking the loaf of number 1 bytes, it's gonna type the whole file. So here I'm gonna close number 1, and then that's it, I guess. So when we run, it's gonna open up the file dialog. There's a text document called just basic 1 notes, and when I hit open, it's gonna type up everything in the file. So this is how it works. If you read in the end of the file has already been reached, an error will be awkward. Let's try making this for the save just a bit faster. Save for output, and then let's make an input. Enter the data to store for file. Then say data string, and then we'll print for number 1 the data string. So notice that when we run, this tile for the save, when it contains the word save, is now changed to the button save or something like that. So we can save a new file. We can open an existing file and edit on it. Here's my file. Click save, enter a data, and make it stored. One final thing is the type append. It's AAPEND or APPEND. I'm not really sure. I think it's like this. The only difference it's gonna make in the output files, that any data written again, like if you want to open it again and write new data, is gonna be added. Otherwise, the output type is gonna be the whole file content is gonna be deleted, then replaced with the new things, with the new values entered. So this is the difference between the append and I think it's append or something. So guys, thank you for watching. That was pretty much everything.